Hey guys! For those who don't know me, my name's Jasmine. I'm a qualified counsellor and all-round awesome person, and I'm going through the next big stage of my life, which is weight loss surgery. And I am now 6 months post tinkering, and I started to notice, particularly in this last month, that some of those sugar cravings are coming back, and I've finally gone and seen a specialist in relation to my super thick legs, and also had my first InBody Scan. But before I get into any of that, as always, here are my current statistics. Might I just quickly say, before I go into the stuff that's happened for me this month, I'm still not at 50 kilos lost yet. And that's kind of, it's like the elusive 50k. But you wait, when I go and put myself on the scales tomorrow, it'll be 50 kilos lost. You just wait. Anyway, let's go back to the beginning of this past month, where most of us celebrated what I like to call the sugar holiday, where we all get chocolates and see family and have these hot cross buns with various fruits and chocolate pieces and coffee grounds or something like that inside them. That's right, everyone, I am talking about Easter. Now, my family wasn't particularly religious or anything like that, so we didn't spend our Easter holiday going to church almost every day. We spent it gorging on whatever chocolate our family gave us and spending time with those extended relatives. Luckily, my family knew that, I had the surgery, so they didn't go and get me chocolates. Instead, I bought myself chocolates. I bought myself a pack of these Ferrero Rochers and thought, you know what, they're nice and small. I can have maybe one, maybe two over the course of, a few weeks, maybe even a month or so, and it shouldn't do too much damage. I finished those within 2 weeks. And what I found myself doing was mindlessly going to the fridge in the middle of a workday and picking out one or two. But mindlessly doing so simply because I was bored or I needed something to crunch on or something sweet. But what I also noticed in all that was that I didn't drink as much water during that time, which didn't help when only a couple of weeks prior I saw the physician who said, hey, you're not drinking enough. By the time I had maybe one or two left in the pack in my fridge, I started to reflect back on it and think, okay, why am I mindlessly going to the fridge to get these Ferrero Rochers? And as I thought about it, it's like, well, they're there, they're easy to grab, they will fix any sweet cravings, but really they're just there. So there's one of my triggers right there when I started exploring why I got to the size that I did, which was the availability of these sweet vices. So I continued to look back on it and think, okay, well, if that's the case, then why did you get them in the first place? And yes, it was Easter, but I could have just as easily gone for a snack size bar of Milky Way. But no, I chose to go for these Ferrero Rochers. So why did I go for them? And the reason came from the catalogue. They were on sale for half price just before Easter. And once again, I fall down the rabbit hole of, oh my god, this is cheap, I must grab it and must eat it now. And as I picked myself up on that, I started to think, well, okay, so that's why you bought it. Did it satisfy that need? Like, did you actually eat them on Easter Sunday? And I'll be fair, I had myself maybe one or two on Easter Sunday, but that's one or two out of a pack of perhaps 12. And that just made me think, okay, well, how about next time, instead of getting the pack of 12, 16, whatever, maybe getting yourself the smaller box of 5. That way you're still fulfilling that tradition of having chocolate at Easter, but you're not having 2, 3, 4, however many mindlessly throughout the course of 2 weeks. Really breaking down what made you want to eat something, or what made you want to buy something if your issue was ever the availability of certain types of foods, really helps in breaking down what the triggers are. In this case, it was Easter and sale. Those 2 things triggered me to go and buy the pack of Ferrero Rochers. So if I keep an eye out for those 2 triggers, and I remind myself by, writing it down in a diary, sticking it on a post-it note and sticking it to my mirror or to my fridge where I put my grocery list or something, will remind you that, hey, I did this last time and this didn't work out for me because I drank less and ended up mindlessly eating chocolates for 2 weeks. So how about I go the smaller one? So I'm going to give that a go for next time something like this comes up. Another thing I wanted to mention to you guys that happened with me this month was that I finally went and saw a vascular surgeon in relation to my calves. Now, if you've seen the first video I put up about this whole experience, I mentioned that I had really, really thick legs. Like, can't even fit into wide calved boots legs. In fact, I think I've got a picture of me on the day of my operation. I don't know if you can see in that picture, but my calves kind of balloon out a bit from my feet. My feet are normal size, they're not overly huge or anything, but it's when you get to the calves that they go poof, and they just keep traveling up as such. Now, if I show you a picture that I took just yesterday, over here, they've reduced a bit. They don't balloon out as much, but you still get a little bit of a balloon effect, particularly in the front of my legs. What's more is that I've found that during the weight loss, in particular, my calves have become, I guess, a bit more soft. Finally got in to see them and explained what had happened, explained that I had the surgery and that I've lost, 40 something odd kilos at that point. And I said to them, but I don't think what's going on with my legs is lymphedema, which is a conjuring of fluid around the lymph nodes. And he agreed that that wouldn't be the case. Otherwise, my calves would still be solid. So I said, what about the possibility of lipedema, which is an accumulation of inflamed fat cells, typically around the calves, in a more advanced stages, the legs, and sometimes even in your upper arms. He looks at my legs now and he said, to be honest, I don't think so. No doubt you would have had lipedema when you were 170 odd kilos, but from what I can see here, it's just a fat calf. He said, look, there's no point operating on you at this point because you are losing weight. So no doubt they're going to decrease as time goes on. But if you find that after you've lost, the amount of weight you want to lose, that your calves are still big, your best option is to see a plastic surgeon and get liposuction. And to be honest, I'm kind of relieved. I mean, it doesn't fix the problem right now, which would have been ideal, but I've already noticed a reduction in the size of my calves, which is incredible for me. And aside from that, I have no doubt I'm going to need a plastic surgeon anyway for skin removal surgery. It's something that I can ask a plastic surgeon about when it comes to that time. The final thing that I did over this month was an InBody Scan. Now, some of you guys may have had it before, particularly if you've been to a gym and they do some of this stuff for free there. But basically, an InBody scan scans more than just your weight and your height. It looks at your fat content. You know, what percentage of you is fat? What percentage of you is muscle? Where is that fat distributed? What size are your arms and your legs, and even around your waist? How much visceral fat, or how much fat is around your organs? All these sort of things this one scan does. And thinking about it, I really should have had this before I went and had surgery, before the pre-operation diets, before all of that, to compare it to now, because that would have been just awesome. But I wasn't at a gym at the time, and I had no idea how I could get this InBody scan, let's say less than $100. To the naked eye, perhaps my test results weren't all that great, if you were to consider me a normal person. I mean, my total body fat percentage was at 54%. I still recorded as 123 kilos. My legs were much bigger than average, no shockers there. And yes, I still had quite a bit of visceral fat around the organs. But I have no doubt that if I had an InBody scan before I started all of this and compared that to now, it would be drastically different. Because I know myself that I'm feeling healthier, that I am feeling stronger. There's no doubt at all that I've lost weight. I am much healthier now than what I was before I had surgery, before I saw the surgeon, all that sort of stuff. Luckily, I can get these scans for free at my gym, and they come in perhaps every 2 months. So I'll be sure to include details on that every time I go and have those scans done. I mean, if you're someone who's thinking about the surgery, I would strongly recommend getting that InBody scan if you're curious about how you're losing the weight. You know, seeing the size of your limbs drop, seeing the size of your waist drop, things like that, all come up on this nice little piece of paper. So I'm keeping it there for now. Had a few stumbles with the sugar, but reminding yourself of those triggers, those trigger words, those trigger signs, catalogs, etc., is going to help with changing that cycle. And perhaps getting scans done all throughout the process. Really good idea to get an in-depth look as to how well you're progressing, or not, throughout the process. So I'm excited to see what comes over the next few months and see my weight loss progress. But until then, and until next time, do not forget that you guys are awesome, in case no one's told you today. And if you like this video or any of the videos that I've put up thus far, please like, share, and subscribe. I know many of you who watch my videos aren't subscribers yet, and I mean it when I say it means so much to see people subscribe to this channel and see my progress. Not just with my scale results and how much weight I'm losing, but mentally, which is what I try to focus on this channel. So again, if you haven't yet, please like, share, and subscribe. You guys are still awesome. I know I've told you that already today, but I'm telling you again, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.